Hello, Melissa. My voice. Losing my voice today. Okay, hello, welcome to Sunset Harbor into the Inc. Gio here. I'm gonna be doing a Agatha review for episode 5, and OMG. You really should see him in a crowd. Okay, right, this is gonna be a very dark chapter, and fittingly so, because it's called The Darkest Hours, or Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power, and, yeah. Literally, that's what happened in the title. So, as we get into the story, as we begin, our group is the two. Where were they? Oh, right. They start out here. So they just woke up from after their last trial, needing a little bit of rest, and then Lilia finds out that, oh no, the door was left open. The 7 are now on their way to them. And they don't have much time because they're hot on the heels for wanting Agatha. We actually find out that apparently this particular 7 happens to be the the children of the ones that were slain of the mothers that were slain in WandaVision by Agatha the night of her trial. So, as we put it, they happen to be a very feral, hell-bent group, solely on the purpose of getting vengeance. And so, as they're arguing about the causes, Agatha rushes. Well, actually, a few of them are arguing. Alice is in the middle, like, tell me the story, grabbing the popcorn. And Agatha decides to interrupt them all and saying, like, more of the story, finish what you started, and mercies for the week. So, they're trying to figure out how to quickly get away from this group as that it's dawning to kill them. And so the team gets the brilliant idea of, why don't we just fly out of here? And everyone scoffs at him except Rio, who's like, yeah, sure, why don't we do that? And lo and behold, it becomes a moment of, well, we don't really have much time, and, well, why don't we just grab our brooms? So, yeah. They do a little bit of a ritual of trading the broom and take flight, even though Lilia, the most against it, is all because of the fact that it's associated with Halloween and everything negative to witchery. But as they're flying, they start to feel a little bit better about it, and right over a blood moon, which is a nice nod to 18 because it's like the bike over the moon. Anyway, unfortunately, they couldn't stay long because the magic pulled them down. So because they're close to the house, and they get rushed into the house, and as soon as they open the doors and slam them, they're like, well, bring out your Rubik's Cubes, we're in the 80s. I mean, I do like the cabin aesthetic, actually, because it gives you nods to Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead, Friday the 13th, which is kind of like the vibes they were going for, I'm assuming. And honestly, at this point, it's like, well, do we face the trial or do we face the Sam 7? Rock and a hard place. And so I guess I was like, well, we just finish the trial and go down to the next level of wood and keep some distance. So here they are. Where's the So here they are, just walking around the place, trying to figure out what to do. And someone finds a Ouija board of all things. The team did, and they decide, well, this must be the trial. Well, it's not more like the side, it's more like the Ouija board pops out of the wall, and their watches start ticking. And so it's like, yep, we're doing this. And they all look around also, it's like, wait, whose trial is this supposed to be? And then Rio's like, Agatha's. We got a blood moon That's the best way to commune with the dead, apparently. And who better than the person who's claimed the most lives? Which ironically should be Rio's trial, because she's death itself. And this does have an earthy feel. But, or possibly it could have been teens, technically, but right, fine, let's say it's Agatha. It's all geared towards her. And so, as they're opening the board and setting it up, T pulls out a set of instructions, which he openly reads. They scoff at the whole "do not talk over each other," which they all start doing, and it's like, where does it say that? And then there was a bigger rule, which Teen had to look at Agatha for a moment, like, "do not taunt the spirits." And then everyone looks at her, and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Do not taunt the spirits." And so, so yeah, that was a rule. Another one was, "do not ask about death." And as he's about to put away the instructions, Lilia walks over and is like, "What's the one on the back?" And he's like, "For 3 and up." And she's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Does it need to be said?" I mean, I've been watching some of the videos where the reaction is like, it's probably meant for Billy because he aged up. But, from 3, so he would technically 3, but give him that by that rule. No, wait. Right. He started at 3 and then aged up 10 years. That gives him the 13. So this all probably would have taken place at least 2 years after. From the WandaVision. Yeah, it actually adds up. Because in the first episode we can see them as tots. He's 3. He ages up a couple years on accident. But we're not counting it because he ends up at 10. And Wanda stops him from aging up a second time. But, that's digress. That's a big digress. Anywho. So. It's the 80s, it's sleepover, giving you nods to, like, 80s horror films, tropes like The Craft, and, why not do a seance? But anyway, so as they're moving around the planchette, Agatha starts by asking the question of who's with them, and it moves over the letters M-R-S-H-A-R-T, and everyone's like, "Mrs. Hart?" And then somehow Lily's hand gets broken away, and Agatha is possessed, and she starts talking and acting like Sharon, the Sheridan character. Which, you would believe it for a second. You would. But then Rio was seeing right through it. She's like, "Oh, you're faking it," and, which Agatha finally had to admit, yeah, okay. I'll be serious about this. And Alice is like, "Dude, the clock is ticking. What are you doing?" And so then she's like, "Okay, I'll focus," and we all start over. And then this time, weird things start happening in the cabin. Lights flicker, things start moving about a bit. And she asks again, "Who is this?" And it spells out death, which gets Rio to laugh because, I mean, she's like, "Wait a second. Death is in the room. It's me. What are you talking about? Who the heck are you?" So, obviously she's not saying it, but for sure she's thinking that because it's like, hello, you can't impersonate me. And then they ask, "What does it want?" and then it spells out Punish, and which T explains punish who, and then Agatha has to punish who, and then it spells out Agatha's name over and over, and Agatha's like, okay, stop this, stop playing, and they're like, we're not doing this, and like, yes you are, and it gets this fight where they try to break hands, and it's not letting them. But then Agatha manages to do it, and then Lily's just kind of like, what have you done? And so then we hear this crazy wail, and Lily is surprisingly, this wasn't good the first time. And, well, the only way it stops is when Jennifer exclaims, well, do as it says, punish Agatha! Which show you, she was too happy to get on board considering how much collateral damage Agatha has done. Which Agatha's now like, what are you talking about? No, guys, don't, please, don't do this, And, surprisingly, everyone else but Teen jumps on the board. Like, Lilia starts getting ideas of, like, softer ways to do it. Alice is like, well, we can humiliate her a bit, that could probably help us get out of here. And Rio's the first one to jump up with her ebony knife, and she's like, you know it? Well, just slit the throat and be done with it. And I'm thinking, like, holy hell. You love this woman, and yet you're gonna kill her. What? And Teen's the only one begging, like, come on, we've been friends, let's... Kumbaya! And Jennifer looks at them and is like, familiars don't get a vote. And when they look back at Agatha, she's gone, and everyone's like, okay, where'd she go? What's going on? And so we get this little hide-and-seek moment of, we're getting flashlights and candles, let's try and find her. Only for her to pop out of the ceiling and go full-on Wraith mode. So she crowd walks around the room and almost attacks... Oh, no. She never attacks Teen, but she does get close to him, obviously. Now, the first person she throws is Jennifer when Jennifer steps in. And, yeah, this is, from what I've heard, and it's true, this is a good callback for The Exorcist. Which I'm surprised they're capitalizing on. Because the Cabin has Friday the 13th, Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead tropes. You have The Exorcist thrown in with no puking this time. Surprising. And then we managed to find out that who's causing all this? Oh, why, it's Evanora herself. She's the spirit who wants to punish Agatha for various reasons. For killing the Coven, for killing her mother, for and she's probably the driving force. She's probably what is driving the Salem 7 as the hive mind. Her spirit is probably, yeah, that's probably what's going on, is her spirit is telling them to do this. Anyway. So she basically says that she'll let everyone else go. Agatha must stay with her. Which Jennifer was actually more than happy to accept. Leon was on the fence, but she was going to go along with it. Rio was definitely foaming at the mouth, raving at the idea of Evanora taking Agatha, especially when after Lady Death herself wants her. So, yeah, I was surprised. I was really surprised that Rio did not play her cards right then there and show her that she's the better witch than her. It's like, you may be a ghost, but this is death you're dealing with. But, yeah, she actually shows a lot of restraint in this episode. Just enough to the point of, yeah, you can't have her, I want her. And, I did thought that the whole thing where, Agatha was, talking from the upstairs section down the banister. And, stop embarrassing me in front of my friends, Mom. Really? But, yeah, Agatha finally asked her, like, why does she hate her so much? What is with that? Lo and behold, the answer flat out, apparently from Evanora, was that you were always born evil. I should have killed you when I had the chance. Which is a huge, huge pain of, like, full emotional trauma, especially since the last episode. It's a huge, huge spectrum shift. In the last episode, I saw a picture for that, actually. The last episode with the demon and the rock band. Like, this whole episode right here, this was all about a mother's love, a mother's protection for her daughter. That generational thing between Alice and her mom. And for her in the next trial to just see that upturned in her face by Evanora. Like, wow. That is a huge spectrum shift of, like, how trauma and such can be affected between families. Like, she's seen the good side. This is the bad side of the spectrum. So, yeah. When Leo tries to intervene, she re-inhabits Agatha as a means to prove that she will always be evil. And she's basically enforcing it. And so Alice decides to step in using Eldritch Magic to, do I have another picture of it? No, just that one, but fine, that works. To try to force the spirit out of Evanora out of Agatha's body. But unfortunately, it backfires. Because everyone was warned in the second episode when they were gathering together that if you blast Agatha with anything, something's going to latch inside her, that urge, and your magic will be turned against you. And unfortunately for the protection witch, who's supposed to be protecting, which she does her job of protecting, the mistake was it takes her life. And so in this fight between Agatha and Alice, in which she's now being drained after just helping her, Teen tries to find a way to break it early if he can, and so he goes back to the Ouija board, who's what's acting strangely, and he asks who's there, and it spells out the word Nicholas Scratch. As he shouts the name, it breaks the hold, and Agatha manages to recover herself, except for poor Alice. Poor Alice. Like, darn, like, absolute darn. You just gave her closure, or on a way to closure, and she dies doing her job, having grave effects. Like, oh my gosh, poor Alice. This is injustice for Alice. This is just absolute injustice for Alice. Like, it's sad. In which we get to a point to where, afterward, and they all leave. Agatha was the first to leave after all that. And, well, now she's questioning herself a little bit. She knows there's like, was I really capable of what I just did? Like, she took a pause for a second and was wondering in her mind, like, should I have done this? And, well, that's when Teen shows up behind her, all flared up and angry, and is like, how could you? Like, how could you, Agatha? She was trying to protect you. Like her mother did for her, and you had the gall to do that to the person who was saving you. in which that's when something snapped in Agatha. The taste of power was too good. Like, her facade of everything she built up to at this point is finally breaking through, and having that energy in her, it sparked her older self. In which Teen literally was like, if this is what it means to do this, then I don't want to do this. This can't be the it-all for end-all. And in that same smug smile, she's like, are you sure? And as she grips his chin with a good sneer, she's like, you're just like your mother. And that was like a huge pang, like, what? Like, after all this time, after being so protective of him, almost dying in the last episode, here she is doing this. And that was her biggest mistake. Because moments later, that's Protect Radar. I try to not do that for the episodes. I try to keep the pictures bland. If I can't, it's only the one time I just have to shout it out because it's there. But yeah, let's focus on another picture because that's what I was going for. You'll notice that there are sparks in his hand, and so it's like the sigil just broke. Like the minutes after this, his sigil finally caved, and well, he's now controlling these two to yeet Agatha into the road. And he's watching her struggle there, and Jennifer and Lilia won't help her because he still has them mind controlled. And so they're all just sitting there watching her sink. Like the show asked for. They punished Agatha for sure. And then when he starts coming to, he's like, you know what, this is not good enough. He throws them both in with her. It's like, yeah, he goes full dark. In which it ends on another... I really have to be more careful. Another tech radar. Yeah. It shows a close-up on that. The You Should See Me in a Crown bit starts playing from Billie Eilish. So yeah, Billie finally meets Billy. Yes. Because like that's the big announcement. It's like, Wicked has finally appeared in full regalia, almost. Now the question is whether or not he wanted to be dark. It's a good question. But yeah, that was a dark moment. This is a dark chapter. All of it is absolutely dark, which is nice. But yeah, this was a good chapter. I mean, a good episode in the series. Like, Teen Sigil is broken. Agatha has found out her mother was always hated her. No surprise. Yeah, it's a good episode for those that relate with like the whole like trauma, experiencing trauma through their own parents, because it does happen. It is a thing, unfortunately. But it's also a big spectrum shift, because it's like, well, in the last episode we saw the good side of the paradigm, and then you go over here and it's like, this is the bad side of it. It's the flip side of the coin. And obviously, you think at this point, it's like, well, they're all dead except him. He's got his power. Roll credits. And yeah, no. No, there was more we saw in the other trailers. The whole Oz episode, and yeah, no, we're not done yet. They did pass the trial, so I'm pretty sure the road is going to guide them to the next step anyway. Or, because we didn't see Rio, I'm pretty sure is going to walk in and help Agatha and the group out of that sticky situation, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be wandering alone because Wiccan probably already took off. And so they probably have some catching up to do. But yeah, and that was basically episode 5, since it ends with Billy's sigil breaking and becoming who he's supposed to be. Sort of. Or he's getting a taste of that power too. And it being a bit unstable. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to next week. I'm not sure what direction that's going to go in. I'm pretty sure it will be another trial. It has to be. Given by the nature of the leaves and stuff being yellow, this does resonate to Lilia. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the next episode will be the Oz trial, where every misconception, convoluted and such, are going to go back and bite Lilia on the butt big time. So everything that led up to this moment has happened. I'm pretty sure the whole also probably the cautionary things. Like I know one person said, or a bunch of other people in the past have already talked about, like stuff Lily has said. And if you put together the Alice don't and try to save Agatha, it does make sense. Now, that whole sentence makes perfect sense. She was like, Alice, don't try to save Agatha. And, well, now we know why. It's like, Alice, don't! Like, darn! This could have been more helpful now instead of last episode. Last week's episode. Alice, don't what? But yeah, I really am sad to see Alice go. I really am. But it does help it does match up with the trailers later, because I'm pretty sure the next episode Rio will be seeing what she said in the trailer, where it's like the bodies are really piling up. And they are now. Because we lost Sharon. We now lost Alice. And so it's now then there were 4. No, wait, no. Because, yeah, when you lost Sharon, it was then there were 5. And then we got one back, then there were 6. Lose one again, then there were 5. Yeah, now we're back at 5 again. And without protection on the road, that's not good. That's no good. It's going to be a bad, rough road from here on out. These are only going to get darker. But yeah. Anyway, so that's episode 5. Can't wait to see what comes in next week. Those that do watch, thank you. Those that watch having it, please do like and subscribe. I will be making more content in the future. For now, this is Sunset Heart and Tanique signing off.